Okay, let's get this rocking and rolling and see if it works. The internet is not happy tonight, it seems. Maybe we can change that with all your amazing energy out there, but it is going really seemingly slow. Let's see. Okay, we are live here. Good. Facebook is live, so that is up. Let's see where everything else is. Sorry, I got to do this roll call on my streaming services to make sure they're working. So as you guys jump on, there we go. Good. Okay, now people are jumping on. It's going a lit. The streams are going very slow tonight, folks. So if you're jumping on, thank you very much. Queens, New York, West Virginia, even people jumping on the streams is slow. Okay, so let me get this, make sure this is all right. Okay, good. So Facebook is jumping on. That is happening. Good. The other ones are taking their sweet time, which is very fascinating. I don't know why. Okay, good. Either way, Facebook is rocking and rolling. YouTube is going. Twitter is apparently not going, so we'll deal with that later. But I was hoping it would go because I actually tagged somebody tonight in Twitterland. And Facebook is going. Okay, Twitter's going, Facebook is going, but the comments are not rolling in, which is very odd. So give me a few seconds here, folks, to figure out why this is going on. If you are on, thank you for being on. It says Facebook is going, and I have changed nothing. There's nothing I've done differently tonight, so there's no reason that should be occurring, but it is not very happy. So I'm going to go ahead anyway because, okay, so comments are not rolling in, which is very strange because usually are. Bear with me, folks, just for a second if you're on. Thank you for being on, but something is not correct here. So it says I have lots of viewers on Facebook right now, and that shows true. However, it is not showing. Okay. Okay. I don't want to start necessarily without this working properly and correct. So bear with me, everybody, especially on Facebook, because I know a lot of you are jumping on right now. I may cut this feed and start right back up. So that's what I'm going to do because it is not showing me correctly. I'm going to dive off. I'm going to come back. I'll be right back. Okay, we're going to try this again. We're trying this again. Okay. Good. Let's see if people jump on. Okay. It seems to be working. Okay. That is working. Now I need to get this to work. Sorry, folks. First time we've had this problem tonight. I want to make sure. Okay, now we're working. Okay, good. Excellent. Now people are jumping on. Thank you. Awesome. We're going now. Let me delete something here. Good. Okay. Wonderful. We're jumping on. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network. We have some work to get done tonight because I'm going to try something totally new for you tonight that I've never done before. I'm going to give you some content, and then we are going to break into a live interview halfway through this show. This is my second shirt from Dr. Timothy McFadden, COVID-19. Now, the funny part is at the bottom. COVID-19, you're killing the mood. That's what it says. Okay. Okay. Let's go on. Good. Welcome to the show. Again, Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, your source for health, freedom, and knowledge. Welcome to Thursday night. And let's get into some information because I have about 25 minutes to give you a bunch of stuff before I drop in with Naomi Soria, and we're going to give her story to you tonight because she is an amazing person who's doing great work out there regarding the protests that are happening. She's from California. So let's dive in, okay? Awesome. The first thing that I want to cover tonight, if you saw any of the press conference, I caught some highlights of it, okay? This is what's going down. Now, it's very fascinating if you watch this, that the president tonight, now on my Twitter feed, I tagged Jordan Sather. Jordan Sather, if you don't know, go follow Jordan Sather on Twitter. He's awesome. Good following. He talks about Q. He talks about ETs. He talks about UFOs, the whole thing. He's awesome. But tonight, the president made a statement regarding another possible, not medication, but potential a disinfectant that could be both external as well as internally taken that could destroy the big bad virus, okay? And what this is called, now, Jordan Sather, probably 2 months ago now, actually was one of the first people to break this and said it's called chlorine dioxide. Now, if you saw probably 2 months ago when this first broke, I went into the store and I showed you a bag or a box or canister, whatever it's called, of chlorine wipes, okay? And then on the back, if you turn around, it says it kills coronavirus. That's chlorine bleach, or that's from the store, okay? Now, Jordan got super attacked by the mainstream media as a conspiracy theorist because he said, what about chlorine dioxide? Now, what they did was they're complete morons, because they said, well, what are you talking? You're saying people can just drink chlorine bleach and they can handle the virus? Chlorine dioxide is not chlorine bleach, okay? Actually, bleach is sodium hypochlorite. Totally different thing. Now, the crazy part about chlorine dioxide is in the water system. If you are on city or municipal water, you most likely are already consuming chlorine dioxide, okay? Chlorine dioxide has one chlorine molecule to 2 oxygen molecules, okay? Totally different than chlorine bleach. Now, I am not saying I'm going to do the same thing that Jordan said when he broke this a long time ago. I'm not telling you to go drink it. I'm not telling you to go drink chlorine bleach. Obviously, that's a horrible thing to do. However, what if they already put something in your water supply that actually helps handle this? Now, I'm putting 2 and 2 together and trying to connect this in the fact that what if coronavirus actually hit end of last year and the beginning of this year, and it was already, the bulk of it had already gone through because most people are healthy enough to battle or knock out the virus with their own immune system. Because what if the chlorine dioxide was actually helping handle some of that? Okay, now let me explain to you chlorine dioxide. Chlorine dioxide is ClO2. It can be applied at several points during water treatment. To raw water as a pre-oxidant, to the clarification tank, to post-clarification, or to the filtered water as primary disinfectant. Chloramine or chlorine may be used for secondary disinfection following chlorine dioxide application. Figure 1 shows possible ClO2 chlorine dioxide application points during treatment. Downstream residual concentration make chlorine dioxide concurrent with other treatment processes. They are already putting chlorine dioxide in the water system just like they put chlorine in the water system. The president talked about a disinfectant being taken internally and externally. Now, he did not say what it was. But the interesting thing is I was following Jordan, and Jordan said, what if that is what he's talking about? Because that would make sense. On top of that, chlorine is already in the water system. Now, I am not an advocate of chlorine in the water system. However, I have a friend out there who I've had on the podcast before, Eric Fuchs, who maybe I'll have him back on again, and he talks about chlorine being in the water system because if we didn't have chlorine in the water system is so tainted by so many things, bacteria, viruses, etc., parasites, that if actually said the population would either be really sick or a lot of people would possibly die if we did not put chlorine in the water system. So he doesn't love it either, but he said it's kind of one of those necessary evils based on our current society. But what if chlorine dioxide is the other thing that will actually kill this thing off without ever needing any other medication, and especially without needing any vaccination? So the fantastic part of this, and really go to Jordan. I really want to point out Jordan's work because he's amazing. But he called this months ago. And the crazy part was he openly said, I'm not telling you to take it. I'm not saying it's okay. It's not medical advice. The same thing for me. And he also said it's not chlorine bleach, right? Totally different thing. But chlorine dioxide will actually kill the virus. And there's evidence of that. There's proof of that. There's literature on that. So very fascinating how the president said tonight a internal and or external disinfectant could kill the bleach and there could kill the virus, and they're going to talk about that in the future. So it's very fascinating how the president keeps on putting out solutions while the medical establishment keeps saying, we want vaccines, we want vaccines, we want vaccines. Now, I do not personally use chlorine dioxide. I'm not on municipal water, but if most of you are, I will tell you, you're probably getting a dose of that in there. And what I'll do is I'll work on talking to my friend, bringing him on. We'll do, if you guys are interested, we'll actually have somebody who's an expert in water systems, who works in water systems. We can have him on, and he'll actually discuss chlorine dioxide, but we'll also discuss what's in the water, because a lot of you don't really understand what is in the water, okay? And I'll answer questions on chlorine dioxide. This just happened tonight. I'm not going to answer these tonight, but I'll do the research for you, and we'll find out exactly what it does, because there's a ton of literature on it, and it's very, very important. Good. And remember, I'm on a timer tonight, so I have about 18 minutes before I bring Naomi on, and Naomi's going to talk to us tonight about active protests, peaceful protests that are happening in California, and she's going to explain exactly what happened to her, because she's been threatened by local authorities to be put in jail. We're going to talk to her live tonight. We're going to see if I can't just pull her into the stream, which will be really cool. Okay, so give Jordan Sadler lots of love. Jordan was the one that first pointed this out. He's really awesome, and I'm trying to get an interview with him because he is a really cool guy. Now, moving on. A couple short things, and then before we go into the interview tonight, I'm going to talk about your new economy. But a few quick things is, one, if you didn't know, there was an article put out today that Mike Pompeo, right, part of the administration, he actually said that we may never resume funding for the World Health Organization. So I think they're going to be investigating the WHO. But on top of that, China has given the WHO an extra $30 million since the United States of America defunded the organization. So we are actually removing that funding, and Mike Pompeo said we may never fund them again. That's a really good sign that we are kind of taking down this whole system, this globalist system, which I'm going to go into in a minute regarding the economic system and what you guys are going to be looking at as we go forward, okay? This is very, very important. Now, also tonight, or today, John Durham, it was announced that he's expanding his team to carry out lawsuits and indictments regarding everything from the FISA breach to the, Spygate, as well as the Russian hoax. And they will probably bring up everything the Democrats have done in the last several years, because they are completely being treasonous against the country at this point. And now on top of that, they're talking about bringing up a commission against the president regarding the handling of COVID-19 or coronavirus. So that will be very fascinating. However, John Durham brought on, he's the chief of violent crimes and narcotics trafficking, Anthony, I think it's Scarpelli. He's no joke, right? He's big time. I believe it's within it's inside the FBI that he works. Now, when you bring someone like that on, that's intense. Now, on top of that, he's the chief of violent crimes and narcotics trafficking. So, why are we having to bring on somebody in narcotics and trafficking in connection to this whole massive investigation? I really do believe they're shutting down the human trafficking lines. They're shutting down the drug trafficking lines. If you have ever seen, there's actually a chart out there that shows The president who has done the most against human and drug trafficking, there's actually statistics out there, is the current president. Meaning every other president, now they did some, but in in the grand scheme of things, they did very little to handle anything trafficking wise, as opposed to the president. Now, on top of that, I think two people working behind the scenes with the president on helping bring down this stuff, not necessarily out there on the boots on the ground doing it, but from a strategic standpoint, is definitely Ivanka. Ivanka has talked about in the past of bringing down human trafficking. She's really big on that. She wants to obviously help the kids and the families. But the one really quiet voice behind the scenes that you have not necessarily heard from, and most people think this person is just being quiet and maybe they don't do a whole lot, or maybe they're working on other projects, but I think this person is very influential in policy behind the scenes and working for families and helping with this drug and sex and human trafficking thing, is the First Lady, Melania. I believe that she has far more influence than anyone else thinks, okay? And there was a time where she wore a trench coat, I think it was. She was traveling somewhere, and there was words on, I don't remember the words, but basically that was kind of a shout out to the fact that we know what's going on. And she is a very, very powerful woman, but yet she's so powerful, she doesn't have to say a lot of words, and the media basically ignores her. I mean, considering the media and what they've done for the first ladies of the past, from Michelle Obama to Laura Bush to obviously Hillary Clinton at the time, the media fawned over them. Why do you think the media fawned over past first ladies? Because they're globalists. That's why they're all part of the deal. I honestly think the most classy first lady before Melania was Jackie. So Jackie Kennedy was probably the classiest in the middle, like before all the other globalists came in. But there's a reason they ignore Melania. If Melania was put on television every single day to talk and to give messages and do what other first ladies have done, she would probably light the whole thing on fire. She's supposedly a very kind, caring, peaceful woman who is very spiritual, from what I have heard from people who have been close to her. And I honestly think she is kind of the secret weapon behind the scenes of not only the president, but the first family, and probably in the president's ear for everything. So don't ever think just because she's being quiet, she's not effective. I think she's one of the most effective ones out there. And I actually really, really look forward to seeing maybe what she does in the future, or what they say that she's helped do in the future. Again, I told you in the past, when she first came into the White House, she said she would not enter the White House unless they got rid of all the demonic and pagan emblems and statues and everything that other people have had, other administrations have had in there, because she supposedly is a very, very spiritual woman. So that'll be very, very interesting to see what occurs there. Now, let me dive in to, oh, by the way, before I get to the nationalism part of tonight's show, and then we have Naomi on in the second half of the show, the House passed today a $484 billion stimulus that basically tags on to the current stimulus we had, which is to help handle small businesses. Now, the notable people that said it was basically unanimously passed, except for 5 people. The notables were Massey from Kentucky, who's very libertarian. But also, the other notable is your very own AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Because Alexandria, as I told you either last night or the night before, she's crazy. Either she's crazy or she's the greatest plant ever put in there by the Republicans you could ever imagine. But I almost don't want to give her that credit, because I can't imagine they would have done that. However, she believes that American workers are being oppressed. She believes that if you go back to work, you are being oppressed by the system. Now, I'm not saying the system is perfect, right? And I actually understand where she's coming from. Not on oppression, but I know what she's trying to say. She just is a terrible way of saying it, and she's a complete socialist. She wants the government, the federal government, to direct and guide all productivity in the United States. That is communism, okay? So she voted no, not because she actually understood what was going on. She voted no because she believes that that people going back to work, Americans going back to work, are being oppressed. That's what she believes. So if you're out there and you need to go and produce for your family, to put food on the table, take care of your kids, do everything you need to do, she believes that's oppressive, no matter if you like what you do or you don't like what you do. So if Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez told me that I found work oppressive, I would explain to her exactly why I do what I do, and that it's not oppressive. It's actually, for me, work is a pure joy, a lot like many of you out there as well. So that's called crazy talk. But they did pass the $484 billion, and that's going forward. So there'll probably be more money put into the small business loans. And at the same time, the president has unlimited stimulus at this point. So I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. Someone loves AOC. Okay, great. Good for you guys. AOC is, now again, she could be a plant, could be. However, her actual values are socialistic and then communistic values. Socialism is the start of it. That's why Bernie Sanders wanted to get in. You start socialism, you don't stay at socialism. Socialism is the first step, and then you slide into communism nice and gradually, okay? Someone asked about Sun Pharmaceuticals. Yes, I'm going to go into Sun Pharmaceuticals tomorrow. I was going to go into it tonight, but I have this really amazing interview in about 10 minutes that you guys are going to see that I wanted to go into, so I pushed that to tomorrow. Now, before we do go into that interview, I want to talk about the economy. We are going to have a massive oil surplus, meaning we have more oil than we know what to do with. You are probably in the next couple of years going to see less travel to other countries. This all has to do with the defunding of the WHO. I think they're going to go after the United Nations. I think they're going to try to break up that and try to separate ourselves from this. You are seeing the movement towards nationalism. Now, some people are afraid of that word, okay? Some people call that isolationism. That is not the same thing. Nationalism is sticking our noses in our own business and not everyone else's business in other countries. Now, what happens with an economy like this? Well, manufacturing skyrockets. We actually start manufacturing and producing for our own population. On top of that, you might actually see multiple currencies in the United States of America. On top of that, you're going to start seeing probably farming come back, because at this point, you will still have products going back and forth over state lines and from like the west to the east and different things like that. But what you'll also see, you'll see a rapid growth and skyrocketing in regional commerce, regional products, regional foods, regional everything. So for example, if I'm in the southeast, I will probably see a ton of local farms coming back up. I will probably see a lot of business being done in the southeast region. In the northeast region, you'll see the same thing up there, regional things. The same with the Midwest, the same with the Southwest, the same with the Mountain West, same with the Northwest. You will still have a nationalized world where we will ship things back and across the borders, as well as with Canada and Mexico. But you will see also very regional done commerce. You will see states even sticking with themselves. And some of you think, and some of you are going to wonder if that's not a scary thing. It's going to be very different as we go forward, but not scary different as in it's bad. This is how America was originally designed to work. Remember, globalism is a very dangerous thing. Now, I'm not saying it's not nice to have products brought in from other countries that we might like, whether if you like making pasta and bread from Italy, you can get some flour brought in, but you should not be dependent on other countries. That formula for globalism is dangerous, because what they want is they want you to become one planetary population. They don't want you to have rights. They want the United Nations taking over and basically going around the Constitution of the United States and a globalism government telling you what to do. That's the Soroses of the world. That's the Kissingers of the world. That was the Bushes of the world. That's what they originally wanted. They wanted the United Nations to dictate everything we did, and they wanted to tear up the Constitution of the United States. That is a very dangerous thing. We are going the opposite direction, where we're going to have so much oil that we don't know what to do with, which will obviously keep all of our different products going in that until we can transition to a renewable economy with renewable resources. For example, I would love to see hemp replace plastic. I would love to see free electricity to replace the oil at some point and then just use oil for what we need. We could have all this stuff, okay? That's a little bit of my hippiness coming out because I am in the natural world and I love our environment. But hemp was grown by our founders. They knew how well this stuff would work. But nationalism is a good thing from the standpoint we stick to our own business. We stop going to war with everybody else. And then other countries promote their own nationalism from within. And then we create trade deals like the president has done with China, with Canada, with Mexico, with the UK, with France, with all these different places. And we create fair trade deals, meaning we don't lose out. Before, in globalism, they were sucking us dry. Literally, we were losing jobs. Companies were going overseas because it was cheaper. That was the true destruction of America. And what I want to do and what we're going to do is we're going to see America basically come back home. Imagine being able to take all the veterans or all the active military who were basically overseas in wars that they didn't necessarily need to be in, and imagine bringing them home and giving them great paying jobs while they also potentially were in the military, and were, if necessary, we could have national defense, but we could actually put all of our people back to work. We would remove the illegal immigration problem. We would have a proper immigration. So if someone does want to move here from another country, they go through the proper laws, rules, everything, and they become naturalized citizens. That's how it's supposed to work. That is the America that we actually all want to see. That would be wonderful. So I want you to get ready because you're going to see all this. You might see, again, you might see different money. You might see different money per region. This could be very, very interesting as we go forth. And as I'm going to go into this more when we have more time, but I really do see this as a very big possibility with what the president's doing, where he is deflating the global economy and he's inflating the national economy. You know, I was doing laundry the other day, and I went in, and our washer has that sticker on. That sticker says, basically, proudly made in the United States of America. How wonderful would it be for all of us to have products with the label made in America by Americans, and even hopefully by veterans, people who need jobs. You know, I talked to Gretchen the other night, and people coming out of the military becoming civilians, it's very challenging them for it to enter back into the workforce. We need to go back to that. And yes, we need to go back to a gold standard or a multi-metallic standard if necessary to make that occur. Wonderful. I hope that helps. I am going to now get Naomi on the line here, and let's see if I can pull her in. We're going to try to see if this works real quick. I hope it does. It would be fantastic if it goes down. I'm going to bring her into the feed, and we're going to find out how the protests are going throughout the country. Okay, let's see. She is jumping on. Let's see if I can pull her in. Yes! Hey. It worked, Naomi. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you. How are you?
I am wonderful. I don't have my earplugs in tonight, so hopefully there's no echo. Are you okay on your end?
I'm okay. Hold on one second. My computer's going to die. 1 second.
No problem. Plug in.
Okay.
Everyone, this is, actually comes back. This is Naomi Soria. And guys, if you can see Naomi as she plugs in, let me know so that I know that this is working flawlessly, because this is the first time I've pulled somebody in the middle of the show. Good. Awesome. Let's see. We're a little bit delayed with them, but very cool. So I'm going to make sure they can. Good. We're all good. Everyone sees you. This is wonderful. Nicole, welcome to Revolution Network. I appreciate you being on.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm so wonderful. How are you?
I'm wonderful. You are live with lots of people in America, and you're going to get to tell your story, what's going on, okay?
Okay, cool.
Awesome. So first of all, tell everyone where you live. Where are you?
San Diego, born and raised.
San Diego, born and raised. It is a beautiful city.
So beautiful.
Now, what actually happened? You were helping lead. By the way, she's amazing because she works for a chiropractor, which we all love. So that's fantastic. Now, I was basically, I learned about you today from a friend of mine, Dr. Billy DeMoss, who's been on the show before, and he told me that you were a real American leading a protest regarding what's going on. Can you give a little background and backstory on what happened?
So, this protest was called a Freedom Rally, and it took place last week on Saturday. It was at the Hall of Justice in downtown San Diego. I had a turnout of maybe between 400 and 500 people. We had people on foot and we had people in their cars. There was a gridlock, and we also had the police. We were working with them. They set aside over for emergency vehicles and for, traffic to pass. And then we had a section for people who wanted to be a part of this little gridlock parade thing. So people circled around the neighborhood and they were honking their horns, super patriotic with their flags, playing music. Everybody was so patriotic. It was the most beautiful turnout I've ever seen at any of the protests I've ever had. And it was just such a beautiful time to be alive.
Nice. Now, how did this all come about? So give us a little background on like how this actually went down, and did it spread quickly? Because I know there's several people doing protests in different areas throughout the country, and they're scheduled between like now and like May 1st. Did this happen? Was it like wildfire really quick? Like everyone got together?
Yes, actually it did. And this is an organic grassroots movement. So everyone is a patriot and everyone's always ready, boots on the ground. Anytime that there is a good cause, everyone's always ready for a great protest.
Beautiful. That is the epitome of being an American. Like everyone is ready for a great protest. Now,
yeah.
Now when all this happened, obviously you ran into a bit of a problem. So give us what happened there so that everyone can know what happened in your story, because some people are going to be going out and doing protests as we go forward, and I want to make sure they know exactly what occurred at the event.
Okay, so the event went perfect. I worked with police as far as all of their requests. Like any request that they made, I tried to make sure that I honored it. The 6 feet apart. Some people had masks, some people didn't. They pulled me apart a few times and they asked me if I was aware about the health commissioner's orders. And of course I was, because they had filled me in a couple days before. And they let me know that they weren't pursuing legal action at that moment, but that didn't mean that they wouldn't be pursuing legal action in the future. So the protest ended. Everything was great. I left right away to Sacramento, to the state capitol, to fight once again for my constitutional rights. And the following day, I received a text message from the sheriff, SCPD, and a lieutenant, and they wanted to speak with me. So right away, I contacted Mark Muser, which is my attorney, and he's a constitutional rights attorney, the best of the best, a force to be reckoned with. And he jumped on the call right away, no questions asked, and they let me know that they filed they were going to be filing with the city attorney's office for a warrant, and that if I went to the protest on Sunday, that they would be issuing that warrant.
Wow. So when you were there, you guys were being peaceful as could be, obviously. I mean, you might have been loud and everything else, which is fine, but you were being peaceful, correct?
Absolutely 100% peaceful.
Right. And now their rules were, I'm assuming, social distancing and probably masks, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Now, was everyone following those rules, or was it kind of a mix?
It was kind of a mix, but I feel like generally people were trying to keep their distance from each other, but also trying to be present in the moment.
Got it. Now, how loud did it get?
Oh, it was loud. There were I could hear the honking in my head after I even left. It was like honking constant. There was music going. Everybody was cheering and screaming. It was just a really patriotic event.
Right. Now, how, like, from a police force standpoint, and I want to make sure everyone understands, obviously we all respect the police force. It's like any industry. There's great police force, and sometimes there's guys and females that are not so wonderful. It happens in any industry. But from a standpoint of how many protesters there were to how much there was to like protect the public and everything, was it way outweighed, or was there a lot of authority there?
I'm kind of surprised there wasn't that many police officers there, but they did have quite a few. They also had some undercovers, but I mean, it was nothing extreme. They kept their distance also.
Did they now when they came in, because I know they spoke to you, did they speak to others as well there?
Um, So I was kind of a barrier between them and the people. So they had asked me like, "Hey, can you keep the people off the street?" Or, "Hey, can you keep them off the little island in the center of the street?" So I tried and I went through, all the crowds and I let everybody know, "Hey, this is what they're asking. If you can, if it's within your means, can you please do what they're asking?" And for the most part, everybody did do that. I mean, I had a hard time with the people on the island, but it was cool because the way we were just like this on both sides. So it looked nice, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to tell adults to get off. All I could do was make the suggestion.
Right. Now, how did they go from everything obviously being okay there, and they were basically saying, obviously, as long as you stick within the rules, everything is fine. How did that escalate so quickly to you now being told that you might have problems going forward if you're doing really just the same thing? Because you are fulfilling your constitutional rights.
So actually, I was informed just now on Carl DeMaio's show on 600 Kogo iHeartRadio that he was informed by an officer that Ken Stone, which is a media interview kind of guy, he was pushing for the police to press charges against me. So he came to me for public comment the first time I got off Kogo last week on Monday, or this week on Monday. And he immediately turned, like he was so quick. He wanted that interview. And as soon as we got off that call, he told me that this activist, Shane Harris, was the one who got the police to forward this and, push the issue. But it wound up being that Ken Stone was the one who decided to press the issue.
So when he pressed the issue, was he given false information, or was he because that seems kind of strange. Like, why was he, it was almost like he was putting a bug in the ear to let somebody know something bad was going to happen, even though basically everything was followed to a T.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It was a very sketchy situation, and I'm very weary of people, and I should have trusted my judgment. And I did not want to speak with him, but he was so persistent, and he just kept making it, "I'm on your side. I'm trying to help you." But he had ill intentions, and he followed through with what those ill intentions were.
Interesting, because I'm going to be having another person who's organizing protests on probably by this weekend or next week, and he actually was interviewed by a local PBS channel, I think probably about a week or so ago, a little bit less. And the person on, I like to say that she looked very passive aggressive, meaning she was actually asking a couple good questions, but then when he was fulfilling the constitutional right, she made it sound like he didn't care about anybody's health, and he was bypassing all health inspectors. So it kind of sounds like you almost had a similar thing, meaning most of these media pundits, I guess you'd say, really have ulterior motives. It sounds like you got a similar one.
Yes.
Got it. Interesting. Now, going forward, you have lawyered up, correct? Give everyone again, because this is going to happen. I want people to know you can't just go get a typical lawyer. You also have to have people ready just in case something goes down, not from a physical standpoint, but also just from a strategic, peaceful, logical standpoint. What you got? Tell us again about the lawyer. I know you briefed on those, but go a little deeper into that and how you're working that.
Okay, so I have the best of the best. Centers for American Liberty is representing me. That they're my nonprofit, and then I have attorney Mark Muser, and like I said, he's a force to be reckoned with. He knows the law inside and out. He's a constitutional rights attorney. And going forward, if I am issued that warrant, then Centers for American Liberty will get me, a criminal rights attorney or whatever I need to go forward.
Got it. Now they threatened. Did they threaten you with a 90-day jail sentence or something like that?
So it's 90 days in jail or $1,000 fine or both.
Based on what? I mean,
going against the health commissioner's orders. And the thing is that the health commissioner is an elected official, so they are nobody to be demanding this from anybody. They are suggestions and recommendations. They are not law.
Right. And so have they explained, or has anybody explained to you, them or even their attorneys, how they are barking those orders when technically it violates constitutional rights?
To be honest, I'm not sure.
because that I foresee this happening as protests go forward. So anybody watching and listening right now is find out that information, because where are they actually have to answer to us. So meaning when you're out there, you can say, explain to me and show me actual statutes, actual laws where you bypass our not only constitutional rights but human rights.
Right. And it's not even just constitutional rights, but California also has a constitution in itself. But at the end of the day, the Constitution supersedes any law in the country. So it doesn't matter what any health official says, an elected, anybody, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, the Constitution is the law of the land. It cannot be changed. It cannot ever be void, not even in the event of a quarantine, in the event of an outbreak. It doesn't matter. It supersedes any law in the country.
Right. Now, for them to, quote unquote, want to put you in jail if you do it again, meaning they're trying to say if you do it again, meaning you broke a law already. Did they issue any kind of warrant or anything that they have a right to take you down if you go protest it again?
No, but they don't have the right anyways, and I'm not asking for permission.
Right. Did they even say, though, because I know they have threatened this whole thing, if you go protest on Sunday, this is what's going to happen. Did they give you any backup? Did they give you any literature or information on how they would go about doing that, or
no,
nothing?
No, they did not present me with any type of information, only just 2 phone calls.
Okay, so good. Now going forward, Sunday, you have told them, what did you tell them exactly on the phone when they basically threatened what they were going to do?
Sunday is still happening. It's happening at 1:00 at Pacific Beach at the main lifeguard tower. Nothing has changed, and they will not coerce me. They will not silence me. They cannot shut me up. I will be there in Pacific Beach at 1:00.
Very nice. So you are ready to deal with. So what happens, and I'm just being devil's advocate here, what happens if they put your arms behind your back and they cuff you and take you in? How does that play out for you? Now, I know I'm not putting you in any situation where I'm telling you, I'm just curious from my standpoint as playing out both best case scenario is everything goes off perfectly without a hitch. Worst case scenario, you are a viral video just like the mom who got taken off the playground. Right. What happens if that occurs?
Oh my goodness, that would be honestly the best thing that could happen in this situation, because they will have violated my First Amendment right to my freedom of speech, and they violated the Constitution and did not uphold their oath to uphold the Constitution. So my attorneys are waiting for this very moment, and I'm super excited to have an attorney who is so well educated and informed on the Constitution. This is what I needed, and I have the backup that I need to move forward with whatever I decide to do.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
Now, I have a question for you, because I've been working to educate all these viewers for the last little while now, and I have been saying that it's so important to educate yourself. We become this society where we're very easily entertained by television and sports and everything else. And one of the reasons why we're in this mess and debacle we are in right now is because we've forgotten our responsibility to be knowledgeable on our rights, our constitutional rights, etc. How did you get to this point in life where you, 1, are running protests, and 2, you know what you're talking about and you will not be taken down? How did you get to this point?
I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it. I am so tired of my rights being infringed upon every single day. Every day I wake up and something else is gone. Every single day I open up the news and it's like, you just lost this, and this. And I'm like, okay, well, what did I get in return? Absolutely nothing. So I'm losing my rights. They're passing these draconian bills that infringe on my constitutional rights every single day. And they're fast-tracking bills right now while we're in quarantine. They were already fast-tracking bills before. They fast-tracked SB 276 while they closed the doors on the people, and they passed that vote without us. So our elected officials, these paid public servants, are overstepping boundaries, and they don't understand or don't seem to remember that the people have the power. So the problem is that we need to remove these elected officials out of their seats, and we need to become those elected officials. So I have every full intention of becoming one of those elected officials.
Are you going to run? You going to run for office?
I mean, why not? If I'm out here and I'm already doing all of this and I already know about the Constitution and my constitutional rights, then it should be my civic duty to, share my knowledge with the world and help people like me who were scared at one point say, you know what, enough is enough. It's time to deal with the tyranny, and it's time to take a stand for what I believe in, what I'm passionate about, and I'm not going to leave this earth until I leave a legacy for my kids and until I leave this earth a safe place for them to grow up in.
You are a powerful woman, ma'am.
Oh, thank you so much.
How do you do it in California? Because a lot of us are on the outside. I'm in Florida. Obviously everyone's all over the country here. We know that California obviously should not be the way it is. We know there's a lot of good people. How are you guys doing it? I know you're with Billy out there. You're with your doctor. Yes. How do you guys do it? I honestly, because a lot of people are getting up and moving, and that is the answer for some people. But at the same time, we don't want a great state falling. What are your plans?
So my plan really isn't to leave. My plan is to stay and fight. California is a beautiful state. I love it with all my heart. I'm San Diego born and raised. California has my heart. It is the most beautiful state. I would never want to leave my beautiful California. And I will fight for my rights here in California and for other Californians because we deserve to keep California beautiful. But at a certain point, if these draconian bills keep passing and Newsom is trying to keep us, with this extended 60-day stay, and then who knows what's going to happen afterwards, if he's going to continue to try and keep us entrapped in the state of California, I'm going to have to leave because I need to be able to live my life and go to work and pay my bills and such. So if this state is going to oppress me, I need to leave.
I understand fully, and we obviously support you. We support you hopefully for overturning California back to the people, but obviously if it doesn't go that direction, we will also have a very different looking country because people are going to get tired of it, just like you're getting tired of it. Before I let you go tonight, now I know you happen to work for a chiropractor, so I'm going to give you some healthcare stuff here.
Wait, let me stop you because I don't work for him. He is actually my PR guy, and he's so wonderful. His name is Dr. Cordy Williams. Nice. He is a chiropractor. He is phenomenal at what he does, and I want to hype him up because he's been working on me and helping me with my stress factors right now, and I've been doing brain tap, and he's been adjusting me, and he's been trying to keep my head right during all of this situation, and he has been great, my hype man, and I just want to say shout out to all the chiropractors out there. You guys are so amazing.
Love you. Now, have you always been on the chiropractic bandwagon, or did you learn about chiropractic? Okay, good.
So I used to work for a holistic doctor, and he turned me on to all of this stuff.
Awesome. That's beautiful. So give everyone your parting message on what is healthcare really? Because right now we're getting told that vaccines are the greatest thing in the world, and they're going to keep everyone immune from COVID-19 and medication this and all. What is real healthcare? I think you know what it is.
So healthcare, it all starts with the gut. If you have an unhealthy gut, then you have an unhealthy life. Your gut is the brain of your body. So what you need to do is you need to heal your gut. You need to take probiotics. You need to take liposomal vitamin C. You need to take your vitamins every single day. You need to practice, hand washing, proper hygiene, and just live a natural lifestyle. Stop drinking soda, drink water, drink tea. Like, there's so many ways to boost your immune system naturally. Natural immunity is a real thing, and we have immune systems. So when it comes down to vaccines, God gave me an immune system to protect my body, and I trust my immune system because it's brought me 27 years of life so far. I'm never sick. I always take my vitamins. I eat a healthy diet. And it all comes down to you cannot inject health. Health is wealth. If you are not healthy, you are nothing. You are dead in the water. So natural and alternative medicine is incredibly important. Going to the chiropractor, acupuncture, and therapy and exercise and all of those mental health will help you live a healthy lifestyle and give you longevity of life.
Naomi, you said that brilliantly. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And we wish you the best of luck this coming Sunday. Do me a favor. We'll bring you back on it if we need to let us know how it went down. Obviously, if anything goes on, have the cameras rolling because we want to be able to defend you, obviously, and we want to make sure you're safe as well. So But I appreciate you so much for being on. I appreciate your fight. I mean, the fight that you're showing at did you say you're 27 years old?
Yes.
You are showing more fight in you at 27 years old than we have in 30, 40, 50-year-olds who have been in this country, for that long. And you might get the tag sometimes that you're the millennial, but like you are what we want carrying on this civilization as we go forward.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Jason. I'm putting it all on the line for liberty.
Well, we appreciate it very much. Naomi, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it. I will catch up with you afterwards. And again, have a great weekend. We'll be in touch, and I'll make sure I'm connected with you so we know what's going on at all times, okay?
Wonderful. Thank you, Jason. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was Naomi. That worked out perfectly. She is going to go and she's going to fight for her liberty, for her freedom, and she is obviously a very smart girl. So I'm glad that worked out really well. And thank you for hanging out and listening to her. She's amazing. Guys, what questions do you have tonight? We'll take a couple questions and then we'll end for the evening. I think that was an amazing interview. Someone who's that strong at that age, that knowledgeable. That's what we need to teach our kids. That is how we're going to make America amazing again. So I'll take a couple questions and then we will break for the evening and we will get some rest. How does that sound? Okay, good. Let's see. Some questions for me. We'll see how they roll in. I know that I'm a little bit lagged behind what I say compared to what you guys get. Good. Let's see. Where is Dr. Fauci? Fauci came back, I thought. I think he made a little bit of... I haven't watched the pressers in a few days. I've only been catching highlights, so I don't know. He's been stumping for the NIH right now. He's been doing interviews, excuse me, for the NIH. So, NESARA. NESARA, I have not heard much about it lately, but this could be part of the transitioning into a new economy. Voter ID. Yes, the president is pushing for voter ID hardcore. I actually read an article the other day that there are countries that are far smaller than us, far less economically strong than us, who have voter ID already in place. But the Democrats, the deep state, do not want voter ID because that would actually control the system and there'd be less or no fraud. Okay. Good probiotics, affordable. I will tell you, probiotics that work are not always going to be affordable, and then you have to define the word affordable because healthcare, real healthcare, can cost money to rebuild your body. But yes, I can. Let me know. I will get with you. We can find you really good probiotics. Good. She gives you hope. Excellent. Is Kim Jong-un alive? I don't personally know. The president came out and he said that he believes some of the reports are wrong. Keep in mind with North Korea that they wanted part of the war to be with America and them. So they will do anything they can still to try to spark the embers of war with these countries. The same with China. They will still push, or they will still beat on the war drums to try to get us in it. Same with Iran as well. Good. Trump has been mumbling and bumbling so much. I don't know. I'd have to watch. Okay. Did I watch The Truth About Vaccines 2020? I have not yet. It is on my viewing queue though. Don't worry. I will be checking that out. Did I see or hear anything about the WikiLeaks username? Okay, so here's the deal with the WikiLeaks usernames. From what I understand, they were out a long time ago. They are kind of a psyop, meaning that they're either not real or they've already been out and it's actually not a huge thing. But either way, anybody who sent me anything on those, I will not click on those links because technically, from what I understand, and I have not researched this deeply because I decided I don't need to open. If something comes out, we will find out about it because trust me, the investigative researchers, the anons online, all these people who do deep research, if it's true, they will find stuff and they will publish stuff. I am not doing it for two reasons. I'm not going to look into it. One, because I don't want to click on links that have things attached to them that then attach to my computer and spy on me. Number two, I don't want to be on the line for any legal ramifications of looking in email or looking at passwords or opening anything up. So I'm just being very careful on that, and I have no reason to open them up. If there's good stuff there, it will come out. If they take down people, they will take down appropriately, okay? How to get rid of parasites? Many different ways. Give me a call. I'll help you. There's different parasite cleanses. I say to get a hold of me because I have probably the best product line on the planet to get rid of them that you have to use, because it's a combination. With parasites, you have to remember, people think you can just take a medication and kill parasites in a week or a month. That is not the case. Parasites lay eggs, up to 20 to 30,000 eggs a day. There's also different species and different sizes of parasites. So there's a specific way, and it takes a period of time to do that. So I help people do that every single day. I work with parasite cases daily. Parasite, Lyme, thyroid, autoimmune, I deal with those every single day. Okay. What about well water? Yes, I have well water. Well water is very good, but also do a water test on your well to make sure there's no pollutants in there, okay? Homemade sauerkraut is fantastic. If you want someone who knows how to make that really, really well, go to the Weston A. Price or go to my friend Carolyn Griffin. She is fantastic. She has some amazing training on that. Is it true that when an animal dies, so does the virus? So technically you can't get a virus from a dead animal. The virus did not come from bats in a Chinese market. That's not a true statement. So does an animal die, the virus dies? I've never looked into that, so I couldn't tell you that factually or not, but I will tell you that it's most certainly, I don't believe it's from a bat. Okay, just like I told you about Luc Montagnier the other day. He said it would be ridiculous that it would come from bats, okay? You can obviously get sick from sick animals, but to think that it just spiraled out of control across the world from a bat, that's a hard one. Carolyn Griffin, Carolyn with a Y, not an I. I will tell Carolyn to get on. Maybe I'll do an interview with her again. I've talked to her in the past. She's a very good friend. She's amazing. Fulvic and humic acids are amazing, yes. Can you do a cleanse for parasites while breastfeeding? I prefer not. Finish breastfeeding and then we'll do that. I try not to detoxify the body or throw herbs in when someone is pregnant or breastfeeding. Good, okay. I appreciate that you guys look forward to the half hour to an hour every single night. I actually enjoy bringing it to you. I love it. By the way, we have some amazing interviews coming up. Praying Medic will be here next week. I will be interviewing Praying Medic. I'm excited about that. I'm going to be interviewing the other Twitter gentleman, which I forgot his name off the top of my head. I apologize for that. But I also have 4 other ones that are coming. Some more famous, and then some just with great information. I have a homeschool journalist coming that is pretty well known in his field. So that's good. Let's see. People like their health information. I'll do more health for you guys. I'd love to do that. Okay, so I get the question all the time asking about vitamin D. I am not a gigantic fan of supplementing with vitamin D, and I know I go against every single doctor probably out there who talks about it. Vitamin D is not everything that it's made out to be. First of all, if you're doing things correctly, you should not be low on vitamin D. Second of all, get in the sun. Now, some people in certain areas can't get in the sun, obviously. Now, if you've ever watched any of my stuff, you'll see that I interview an amazing man named Morley Robbins. You need to take vitamin A in the food form, okay? But also you need to have copper. Vitamin D is connected to that. The reason why you're low in vitamin D is because you're actually copper deficient. I'm going to work on bringing Morley probably maybe next week. We'll do the same thing. Morley is a genius. He is brilliant in minerals and copper. But I am not personally, I think I've given out vitamin D as a physician less than 5 times in all my years in practice. That'll tell you how much I love vitamin D. I understand how the physiology of the liver works, and so vitamin D doesn't. Now, some people say I take vitamin D and I got better. Great. I'm not saying that it's a bad vitamin. I'm just saying I personally, the physiology to me doesn't make sense because I know Morley's work, and things like copper and zinc and proper minerals, change everything. And on top of that, get the detoxification systems working, get the bowel moving, get the urinary tract moving. When you do that, your body should not be deficient in all those things. Okay, so as a physician in nutrition, I do not bypass your body. That's what medicine does. Medication bypasses your physiology. What I do is I work with your body to open up your channels. So if you saw my wife's video, my daughter loves to talk about poop because she's around us all the time. And so you should be going to the bathroom. You should be pooping at least 2 times per day. Sometimes 3 or 4 times, depending on how much you have in you. I see people who poop maybe once a day, sometimes once a week, sometimes once every couple of days. I've had people who haven't gone to the bathroom in a month before come in. You cannot be healthy if you are not moving things through your system. And I will tell you, vitamin D is not going to fix that problem. Okay, you have deeper problems. You have parasites going on. We have to open those channels up, detoxify the body, and build the system back up. So that's how I work, okay? And again, if anybody has health questions, I work with people. Email. You know the email by now, gethealthy@drjasondean.com. Good. Yes, I'm bummed out that Standard Process got rid of copper liver keto. It was a great product. I'm working on creating another copper product because it's necessary. Good. Couple more questions. Some people saw my daughter and my wife's video tonight, and yes, my daughter talking about poop. So, yeah, welcome to my show. We talk about geopolitics, national politics, health, poop, UFOs, ETs, you name it. Welcome to my world. Welcome to what I study. I hope you like it. Apparently you do because a lot of people watch, and I am happy to bring it to you, okay? Good. 2 more questions. How do I do remote muscle testing? Ooh, tricky question. 1, when I do anything remote, I am a health coach. And 2, it's called quantum physics. That's all I'll say. Quantum physics. Go look up quantum physics. Do I have a health questionnaire? Yes, I can give you a health questionnaire. Go to gethealthy@drjasondean.com and message me. Excellent. Okay, mandatory masks in public. I am sticking to HIPAA violation, as I told you why, and it's against my constitutional rights. Sorry, that's how I work. If you guys want to play that differently, you are more than welcome to do, okay? Homeschooling. I am going to have a homeschool interview next week, but then also I'm going to allow my wife to do some of that because she is really good in that area. I am good at, this is what I do with my daughter. I play with her. We eat dinner together. I hang out with her and play with her, baby dolls with her. And then I drop truth bombs on my daughter. I teach her how COVID-19 is not what they tell you it is. I teach her that we help people who are not well get better. And if someone did come to us with the virus, we would help them and take care of them. And then I tell her things like, oh, hey, look at the moon in the sky. Have you ever noticed you've never seen the other side? And I tell my daughter's 6. I do not treat her like a little kid. I treat her like a human being who is very smart. And obviously I protect her from some things that she doesn't need to know now because I don't want to harm her with painful memories and thoughts. But I connect her through truth very well. My daughter laid down with me the other night and she watched the X-22 report with me. And I teach her about money. My wife and I teach her about money. We teach her about the president. We teach her how you question everything and you don't just take everything the president says as fact. You have to ask questions. We teach her how the world works. My daughter points up in the air and says chemicals when she sees a chemtrail, but we teach her that we actually detox that stuff and she doesn't have to worry about it. We teach her all this stuff, okay? So yes, my wife and I are very open parents. I'm not always the cleanest mouth in the I grew up in sports, in professional sports. So I don't swear a lot, but I will sometimes have to watch it. But I will tell you, we don't have taboo subjects in our house. We are very open about everything, and it works really well. When you're open with your kids and you tell them the truth, and obviously some of the truths you have to give to in a way that they can understand it at their age, your kids will be so much better for it. Okay, good. Okay, awesome. There's a few more questions here. I went into the HIPAA violation last night, okay, regarding I never personally signed up to give my privacy rights away. Why am I wearing a mask? If I'm wearing a mask, that would presume that I had some sort of health issue. I did not give them that right to out me for having a health issue. So, but either way, it's also a constitutional violation in my opinion. This is why you have to know constitutional attorneys, okay? What's going on in New York? Simple. You have a communist country up there. I'm from New York. Hope that helps. Nursing, health freedom nurse being called fake and COVID. I don't know that whole story. I'd have to look it up. Yeah, I'm awesome. Thank you. Good. Guys, I'm going to let you go. We had a great night tonight. Some information, but then a great interview with Naomi. She was fantastic. I am so happy that that's going on, that she is at 27 years old doing the thing that she's doing. Guys, a lot of your health questions I would love to answer, but I can't answer them all tonight. So if you have them, please email me and I will do my best. And it might be a day or two when I get back to you. Don't worry, I will get back to you, but it fills up very fast. But it's easier for me to answer those there just because there's so many and I want to get them. I don't want to leave you out. So please do that, okay? Good. Guys, thank you so much. If there's anything I answered, please email me. Please message me, whatever you need to do, and I'll get to it the best I can. I don't want to leave you hanging. That's not my intention. So just please bother me, bug me. I will find you, okay? Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, signing off. Guys, I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Stay tuned in. Stay up on everything. Keep studying. Get your knowledge base up. Create those positive vibes. We are going to save our country. We are going to save our planet. And we are going to live long into new civilization where everything is good again, okay? Have a wonderful night. Take care of yourself. I'll see you tomorrow. Be well.